So the leash harness, it's an amazing, quick way to just create a harness, get control over the dog. You will sacrifice some of the defensive handling capabilities you'll have, but you would sacrifice that anyway on an easy walk or anything like that. So I have my dog, he's pulling really hard. I'm gonna take my hand and I'm gonna do a collar grab, and then I'm going to take my leash and I'm gonna bring it under the dog, and you can kind of throw it to the side and you can switch hands, and then you're gonna bring that underneath, so exactly like a harness. You're gonna go underneath the front, I guess you'd call it their elbows, and then you're gonna come right underneath the collar. You can do it through in between the martingale, so there's the top of the martingale and the bottom. If they weren't wearing a martingale, you could always do it under the collar as well. So I'm gonna come through here, and now I have my leash harness. It's literally that easy. But you'll notice I do have, again, you know, you're sacrificing a little bit of like the head control and all that good stuff. But I have full control over the dog right now. What the leash harness does is if he pulls, it's gonna be the same. It's gonna add pressure as he's pulling. If he's not pulling, it's gonna give pressure. Not give pressure. So, and just when you get back inside or you're done with the leash harness, or you wanna try walking back on the double collar because you feel like he's calmed down, you're just gonna do the same thing. We're gonna leave that out, and boom, we're back to non-harness. So you're gonna come like this. Yay! You're shy. In terms of pulling, so we're going to break it down into mild, moderate, and severe. So mild is going to be a dog that you can use treats and U-turns, and it's pretty easily managed. Most dogs are going to pull when they're leaving their kennel and out the building, so I do want to put an asterisk, like, don't judge their pulling based on just getting out of their kennel to the front door. That could just be their arousal getting through the building. To finish getting them out of the building, you can then make your leash harness. You can do that outdoors as well. And it doesn't necessarily matter which way you're going to make the leash harness. It's pretty much whatever is easiest for you. You can use food, you can use control stance. It really depends on the scenario in which you're in. If it's a dog that maybe is just moderately pulling, so they're putting a good amount of pressure on the leash, sometimes they're taking food, sometimes they're not, but you're just more comfortable if you just put them on a leash harness, then you can use some of those moments where you have food and just quickly get the leash harness on. If it's severe, you're probably going to want to use some control stance where you can just have control over that collar and just make the leash harness real quick. You could always go to your kennel rope. You know, if it's a volunteer that doesn't have a kennel rope, I would say you may want to undo your leash harness and go back to the double collar. But for those, you know, direct care staff, anyone that has a kennel rope, that's a good time. You could also just throw the kennel rope on. You could also then undo your leash harness and tie them out and let them wait it out a little bit. Let them calm down, do some treating, maybe have them do some sitting, some downs, depends on the dog that you have around. But you could theoretically do your entire walk on a leash harness if it's going well. There's a lot of options. I think it really depends on what dog you're walking, what your relationship is with that dog. Again, you always have your treats to do treat scatters and find its and all that good stuff. You can really dig pretty deep into the tool belt to figure out what to do in each scenario.